Welcome back to the All Seasons channel. Today we are going to be changing out a water heater. Be a Suburban water heater in this camper. Her water heater has a hole in it, the tank. So we're going to switch that water heater out today. We're going to take you along. We had to take this wall down because the water heater lives over there on that side. But in order to get to the back side of it, to get the water lines off and stuff, we got to take this wall down. Not bad, just like 2 or 3 screws on each end. That's all we have to take off, and wall comes right out, gets out of the way. Just going over there, Cameron, and right up beside that wall there's either 2 or 3 screws that need to come out. Alright. Okay. Yep, there'll be 2 or 3 of them. I don't remember now. Just lay those back there out of the way where they won't get. There you go. Start pulling that wall out at the bottom. Just keep pulling out the bottom. You need to kind of hold the top and push the bottom out. No, you need to push the bottom out. Hold the top in. Oh, because I got nothing to grab onto over here to pull the bottom out. There we go. All right, let me have it over here. Okay, we got that wall out of the way, so wall's here now. So we're gonna go over here and drain the water out of that water heater and start unhooking it. I'm gonna turn the camera over to Cameron, the cameraman. So if it's not a good video, it's his fault. Get the appropriate size socket. For this Suburban with the metal plug with the anode rod, it's going to be 1 1/16. As always, we're just going to make sure there's no pressure in the water heater. Just by pulling the handle on the pop-off valve, let the pressure off. Otherwise, when you pull that plug out, you'll get a bath. It ain't that cold today, but it's cold enough for me to have my jacket on. I don't really want to take a bath today. Get that plug out. Get ready to get out of the way. Let the water go. Now here's our brand new water heater. And it is a Suburban model SW10DE. Suburban does not come with a new door. So you have to reuse your door. You got to put your male fittings in here to put your water lines on. Suburban just uses 4 screws to hold this cover on for the door. Get it off, and then we may find that there's a couple screws actually holding the water heater in. Get those out. I get some tools. We'll start trying to get this cover off, because like I said, we need to reuse this bezel and our door, and get our gas line unhooked, and all the electrical connections are on the back side. We'll get them out and then we'll get the water heater out.
No.
Alright, first thing we need to do is cut the gas off. So we're going to take that gas line loose. That one was already off. That one's off. Always use a backer wrench. It's just good policy. It's a good habit to get into. Of course, you can always drop one wrench. That's always handy. Alright, got the gas line loose. Now, start very, very gingerly getting this shroud off of here without tearing it up. Sure, I could have ordered her a new door. I think a door's $70 or something, but I'm just trying to save her some money. I can usually get these off without hurting them. Just gotta take your time. Make sure there ain't no screws anywhere in here. There's not. Not sure. Yeah, there's not. Sometimes they'll use double-sided tape around the inside of this bezel. Not always. It's just taking your time, getting it off without tearing it up. Just go slow. There we go. See there? It has putty tape behind it, and it probably has silicone around the outside edge of it. Well, it's a day to drop tools. Now the bottom where they had it siliconed is the one you really got to be careful with. I already took my knife and cut the silicone, but I see I missed a little bit right here in this corner. Get that out of there. And there you have it. Got a couple of wee little dents there on top that I can get off out of there, no problem. Just about I can get them out with my fingers. So we just saved the lady. I'm pretty sure the door's like $70–80. I never would have been able to get a gray one to match her camper anyway. It would have been white. So it's the best way to go.
Do they only make them white now?
Yeah, they only come in white. You can't get them in black. Yeah, there's a couple screws that was under that bezel. Kind of holds the water heater in. That should be it. Yep. Go get our get all of our connections, our water lines and electric lines off the back, and baby's ready to slide out. Alright, now this is the back side of the water here. I had to climb in that compartment to get back here, and get our water lines undone. I'm gonna need a pair of channel locks. And I know it's really gonna be tough for y'all to see, but I gotta go back in there to get the 110 volt AC undone. You know, actually, I can probably pull the water heater part way out and do that outside the camper. That's going to be the easiest thing to do there. Just kind of get this, gas line out of the way. I've got it unhooked outside from the water heater. Get it out of the way so we can get the old water heater out, new one in. Get those water lines loose. Get them all the rest of the way off the hand. All right. Now I think all the wiring for the AC and the wiring for the propane part. Oh, I just saw something here. Oh, the board is way over there. I don't know how in the world. Oh, I'm gonna have to go through the inside and go through the access hole for the furnace and reach up there and take that wiring off that board. Okay, I have to go inside for that. I probably won't take y'all long. I probably won't take y'all inside for that. I just got to reach up in there and take that loose.
Yep.
All right, got the water lines undone. Got the wires unhooked from the board, and gonna pull this thing part of the way out, and hopefully be able to get to the rest of the wiring. Might still take some coaxing to get it out of the hole. Good thing is you don't have to worry about tearing it up. They're rather tight in these holes, so it takes usually takes a little wiggling. Here's all of our DC wiring. So cool, we can get to that. Pull it out just a little bit more. Here's all of our AC wiring. Yeah, that's definitely the easiest way to do that. Doesn't always work out that way, but in this situation, it's the only way. Just a couple wire nuts, and then we got a ground wire underneath of a nut. I have to get it off. I'll let Cameron go get 1/4 inch sockets and the driver, and we'll get that ground wire out of there. We'll go ahead and snip these DC control wires off, and we'll just wire nut those together when we go back with the new water heater. They actually are color to color, so I'm going to snip them off on the water heater side so that when we go to put them back, we know what color. I mean, it's pretty easy on this one because it's color to color, but they're not always color to color. So you'll snip them off, on the water heater side because you're replacing water heater anyway. Then you'll know what color goes to what color when you go back. The simpler you can make things, the better it is. Well, never find the right size socket. Your ground wire off. Get those wires pulled through that grommet. Of course, I made sure that this was off before we started. Otherwise, you can have a shocking experience. Okay. Our wire's unhooked, our plumbing's all unhooked. I'm going to poke my head back in here and just make sure that nothing's hanging up, and we're going to pull that old one out. I think our vent. This is a sewer vent. I don't really know what this is all about, but come on. I got to get it out of the way a little bit. I'm gonna be as gentle as possible with it, but I don't want to break it off. There's your old water heater. We're going to take these brass fittings out of this one. Probably put in our new one, unless we take them out and I see something I don't like on them, but they should be just fine. Alright, got the old water heater out. Got those fittings, those brass fittings out of the back, and I'm going to cut these two bands that hold the styrofoam on. And we're going to see, hopefully we're going to see where the leak's at. Well, she sure is rusty. Oh, I'd say right in there somewhere is going to be our leak. Probably have to pressurize it, but a lot of rust there. This is actually a Suburban is actually a glass lined steel tank, just like your household water heaters. But stuff happens to that glass lining, and when the glass lining gets a hole in it, the water gets to that steel tank, and of course it starts rusting. I about bet you right there's our leak. I hope they'd be big enough that something I could put my knife in, but it must just be a real small little hole. I guarantee you that's the amount of rust that's in that styrofoam. We made a good call. Before we even take this one out of the box, we're going to just go ahead and put our brass fittings in here. they put some kind of hard sealer on them from the factory. I am going to use blue Teflon tape, especially made for water lines, fittings. Put Teflon tape on a fitting. Always put your tape on and spin the fitting the same direction as you would if you were putting it in its hole. You don't have to go crazy with Teflon tape. Three or four rounds is all you need. But the most important thing is to put it on the right direction, because if you put it on the wrong direction, as soon as you start tightening your fitting up, your tape just peels off. If you get it wound backwards, you'll know it real quick. And then you can go do it the right way. Now these do have to be pretty tight. Lay this thing down on the side. See why I just leave it in the box? Alright, we're going to quit there. I'm going to roll this one up on top so we don't have to bend over. Alright, should be good. Now we can finish pulling it out of the box. Get a new board. Put that on later. Alright, we're going to slide this one in the hole. Alright, there's just a little bit of putty tape and just a little bit of silicone where that bezel's at. So I'll very carefully take a nice square putty knife and scrape that off so we can get a good seal when we put our bezel back on. We'll do the same thing. We'll putty tape it and silicone it, just like it was before. Alright, that's that. Alright, now we're going to slide the new water heater back in the hole. Make sure the wires are in the proper place. Alright, we'll make the rest of our connections. Then we'll slide it home. Thankfully, we have the same color wires on this water heater. You never know, sometimes they'll change colors on you. And then you gotta start chasing out your diagrams on the old water heater and the new water heater, see which wire goes where. Alright, I'm not going to bore y'all with these wire connections. Cameron's going to cut the camera off.
Yep.
Alright, got our wiring finished up. Got the new water heater slid back in the hole. And we'll just put these screws back in this frame out here to hold the new water heater in. Try and make everything fit as square as possible. Alright, I'm actually going to have to have Cameron put the camera down and push in on this while I shoot screws in it. Okay. It's our old bezel. We're going to get this the old putty tape scraped off here. Try and do it without bleeding everywhere, because if you slip, this stuff's sharp. So try not to bleed everywhere. We'll see how that works out for me. You don't have to get it all, just most of it. And we're gonna put new putty tape on it. But I'm serious, this stuff is sharp, sharp, sharp. If I had any sense, I'd wear gloves, but I'm not much of a glove person. That's 2 slips. No blood yet. Today might be my lucky day.
Don't jinx it.
Can you just feel the hide leaving my hands when you see me do that? Because I do. That's good enough. I'm going to quit while I'm ahead. Very little bit of silicone on this thing to clean off, because it just doesn't take much on this kind of door. It fits the side of the camper very, very well. Alright, got all the old putty tape off. Put some new on. Oh, there's that silicone in here we need to get off, because we're going to redo that. This down here seals, at the bottom, seals this bezel to the frame on the water heater, so that, I mean, you're always going to have, when you're draining the water heater or if your pop-off valve gets a little weak and starts weeping a little bit, you're always going to have water down here. So always be sure and silicone this down here on the bottom. I'll show you here in a minute. Always silicone that really, really well. Work that putty tape all the way around. Once you get that run around there, just take and press it. Press it on there a little bit, and then you pull the backing paper off. And it'll stay right there. There we go. Ready to go back. The bezel goes inside the frame. Pretty snug fit, as you can see. There you go. Got 4 long screws that clamps the bezel to the water heater. Put those back. You can't go crazy with these things because screws are just pulling on little tabs. The same thickness material that the bezel's made out of, which ain't a whole lot. So just snug them up like a lot of other things. Make sure everything's going flush. Like so. That's why you go slow. Make sure everything's in order. Alright, before I actually silicone this or anything, we're gonna fill the water heater and test it, make sure all our connections are good, our electrical connections and all that. So we're gonna stop right here and go back in the belly and hook up our water lines and our electric lines. Alright, we have hooked up all our water lines, hooked up all our electric, our propane. Now we're test firing the propane side. That's the second try. I didn't light the stove yet to make sure we actually had gas. So I'm assuming those bottles have propane in them. Let's go light. It should do light on this third try. Nope. I have to go inside and make sure we actually have propane.
There we go.
Fire! Okay. Cool. Sounds good. Nice and blue. That's what you want. Okay. We'll go cut the gas off. We're going to finish seal our door, our bezel and stuff up. We'll move on. New water heater comes with a little new rubber seal that goes around this gas line. Be sure and put it in there. If you want to try and seal up any potential source of carbon monoxide from the inside of the camper. Alrighty, we'll put a little dab of silicone around here too when we silicone this down here. Now, I'm going to show y'all a little secret, but you can't tell anybody, okay? I mean it. This is you got a silicone something, do yourself a favor. Put a little masking tape on both sides of your silicone joint, and it just makes such a nice silicone joint. Always hate a new roll tape. Seems like you got to get in there 5 or 6 rounds deep sometimes to get good tape. Just take and put tape on both sides of your whatever you're siliconing, whether it's window, door, water heater. You only do 3 sides. Do top, both sides. Don't do the bottom. That way if any water does get in there, it can get out. Nothing irks me anymore than to see somebody silicone something and it looks like they put the silicone on with a number 4 coal shovel. Gosh, that drives me crazy. Because I used to be that guy. Guy I worked for, first RV dealership I ever worked for, probably close to 25 years ago. Old Bob. Bob showed me how to do this. And got me $1 an hour raise because I did a big replaced a bunch of siding or something on my camper, and I'd done this to all my silicone joints when I got done. And the big boss was so impressed, he gave me $1 an hour raise. So don't y'all tell nobody about my secret. When I say I got $1 an hour raise, it was a big deal because I started out at $5 an hour working there at that RV dealership. So I hadn't been there maybe 2 months, and all of a sudden I was making $6 an hour. So it was a big deal. Let me show you what we got here. See this tape joint? My silicone joint will end up being about 1/8 of an inch when it's all said and done. I mean, it took me what, 3 or 4 minutes to do that. Now watch when you go silicone it. This is the fun part. You just put your silicone on all willy-nilly. Just spread it around. Here's where the magic happens. You gotta lick your finger. Don't think about all the nasty things you've been doing all day. Just lick your finger, wet it. Smooth that silicone out. There you go. Perfect. A perfect silicone joint. Well, perfect enough for anybody, right?
Yes.
Then you just take and pull your tape off. Camera's gonna give you a close-up. You can't even hardly see it. Turned out so nice.
A little bit of shine right there. Beautiful silicone job.
Well, thank you, camera and cameraman. Now, Alright, now remember I told you we need the silicone down here. We're going to silicone the bottom and up the sides about 3 or 4 inches, because this is always a wet area. I'm going to put a little silicone around that gas line. Like I say, just to keep the potential from any carbon monoxide from getting inside the camper. And then we don't have to worry about this because this is it's not exposed to the outside, so I don't really care what it looks like. We're just going to slather some good silicone down in here to seal the bezel like such. Just take and smooth it out a little bit. You want it pretty heavy in here. There we go. So there you have it. We installed a new Suburban water heater in this lady's camper. If you find any value in my videos at all, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, give me a comment. All this stuff helps. And as always, thanks for watching. Now we're going to go fix something else.